Get this man some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
A Blazers podcast.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Your eyes and ears do not deceive thee. We are back in the queue, assuming you still subscribe. All 25 of you.
I actually unsubscribed over
You
the break. I'm
unsubscribed.
sorry. It was me. I unsubscribed.
Yeah, that was you.
I'm sorry.
I knew it. It's
Yeah.
fine. The truth comes out.
That's
It's
right.
been a long time.
A long time.
Not a lot has happened.
We are older. We are wiser.
Mm-hmm. It's been like a boring season. We have a coach.
Who?
We have a coach.
Same guy?
Same guy.
No. Different.
No. Shann,
Different.
what are your feelings? I mean, I know that the method of removal
Sure.
was not what you expected.
No, that was exactly what I wanted to see. Just the absolute, the perp walk in and out, but not arrested because he was a bad coach.
No. Which I don't think is a crime. I don't. It's still unprosecutable in this country.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. No,
We
it
hold
was,
a thin line of rights still, and one of those is you cannot be arrested for being a bad coach. Fun fact.
with everything going on, are we sure?
Yeah, maybe
are we sure?
We're not sure.
All right.
All right.
No, and so our official head coach is awaiting trial, and now we have an interim head coach, the tallest man in Brazil. A big fan of this guy. Loved him when he played. Was
Yes,
a
he
huge
did.
fan of the guy when he played for the San Antonio Spurs.
Yep.
Maybe one of the most entertaining coaches to watch.
Yeah.
On the sideline, we were just talking about this. I went to the game and just could not take my eyes off of him. It just movement and running, and he's chasing guys back and forth, and hell yeah.
Now, I don't think we need to go in the ins and outs. Everybody here who's listening to this knows what happened. What I want to know is your personal health, your personal well-being as a fan. Can you talk about the difference between having him as a head coach versus Chauncey?
Well, the thing about it is now I know that there's an actual coach who will do things like call plays and talk to the guys during halftime and giving them some direction outside of be your best. So I mean, it's the confidence. It's kind of like, you have a babysitter for your 9-year-old kid, and you can have, the neighbor kid down the street who may have a slight heroin addiction, or you could have an actual professional babysitter, like an official nanny, licensed, bonded. Yeah. And that's the difference.
Are nannies licensed and bonded? Are they insured?
I don't know.
You don't know.
To the kid down the street who maybe has the heroin addiction.
Yeah, that's who's watching
that kind of money. Yeah.
I agree, Shann, with you, because watching Tiago, he's not going to make all the right choices. No. But I guarantee you he's not doing a coach's challenge in the first 30 seconds.
No, and, he's a little bit more judicious.
He's a little bit more. And you know what? Yeah. He looks at his roster like Picasso looks at his paints. And he says, why not? Let's get weird. Let's use all the colors.
Let's get a little
make
weird.
Different shapes.
Who knows?
Some of these perspectives might be off.
Sure.
But you know what? Why not? Yeah. Let's throw in Do-Up Wreath. Let's do a little Caleb Love,
Because the thing is, I'm the head coach, so I can tell him, hey, Do-Up, do this specific thing at this specific moment. Yep. And he'll do it or he won't. Man, that's but I can tell him, hey, look, Caleb, go there and shoot that. Yep. And they do it. That's amazing.
My favorite thing about the whole process was that when Chauncey got arraigned or whatever that official term is, the Blazers were like, okay, we're going to go to our coaching bench, and Nate Bjorkson is the next in line in terms of seniority. And Nate said, "Listen, I'm just too much. Everybody knows it. Go with Tiago."
The smartest man on the bench said, but nah.
Do you know?
I'm good doing what I'm doing.
But do you know how rare it is? For a man in America to be said here, would you like more power, sir? And he said, no, thank you. I know myself, and it will badly affect me.
The best king is the guy who refuses the crown. Yeah. That's the irony.
And Tiago, does a really good impression of a Bond villain from 1983.
Oh yeah.
He's got that great brow. It's always sort of like this.
Yeah,
the good scowl, but just beneath it is just a warm smile. And
seems like a delightful guy. Delightful guy to have in the locker room.
Everybody's playing super hard.
100%.
We beat Houston twice in a row.
Consecutively.
Now,
and
listen,
not just, I mean, they were missing Şengün, which is not nothing, but Houston with Kevin Durant, who was in his bag, and the this is the thing. And I think one of the things that there's so much has happened, we kind of forget that if you look at the Blazers roster as they're playing right now, I mean, before last night when Drew came back, we'll talk about that maybe a little later. They were missing Damian Lillard, Drew Holiday, Scoot Henderson, who we still don't know, Jeremy Grant, who started off the season like he could be the runaway sixth man of the year, and a former All NBA defensive team guy in Matisse Thybulle. Like those 5 guys would be an NBA starting lineup. And we're missing all of them, and we're still hanging tough with the Rockets.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, we're still playing real good basketball.
Well, during our long hiatus, which I wish we had more dramatic reasons for it, like we had a falling out or something, wouldn't that be great? It's like, hey, sorry, we were fighting.
Yeah. Then you'd have to like post the fight and like post the updates and get really messy.
We just didn't post. We just didn't do it. And neither of us really bothered. But you know what? The thing is during that long hiatus, sometimes we trade podcast ideas over text. And one of them was, has Jeremy Grant played himself into being untradeable?
Yeah.
And I'm not a silly guy. I don't go to bed with silly thoughts dancing through my head. But he was playing so well that you were like, listen, the Blazers have a certain level of competence here.
Yeah.
And if Jeremy is traded away, that certain level of competence will go away, and we will probably regress into the lottery, what have you. Turns out not the case, because the Blazers they epitomize the next man up mentality, and the vibes on this team, Chuck. The vibes on this team, we're top 10 or top 5 vibes in the league for like 3 or 4 years running. What is going on?
Top 10 vibe guy team. Yeah.
Like who else has better vibes than us?
I'm trying to think.
Not the Wizards.
Not the Wizards. Maybe not the Rockets.
Not the Rockets.
I think OKC, even though they're
not right now.
I guess not right now.
Not right now.
Spurs, maybe in the conversation.
They got great vibes, good vibes.
After seeing them last night, the Knicks, potentially. Even though, I mean, the thing about it is you have to give them a little bit of because they've got Karl Anthony Towns, which is going to immediately lower the vibes. The fact that they're able to overcome that, they kind of start a little bit of like having that guy there, and they have to kind of.
But you've always talked about how you have that one uncle, and the family sort of absorbs it, and they've done a good job of having a good absorption rate of Karl Anthony Towns. They seem fond of him and his peccadillos. In order to prevent any sort of lawsuits, I'll withhold my thoughts on that. But I think New York's got good vibes. But I think Blazers probably top right 5. Up there. Probably. Everybody top 10. City Sissoko by himself. I mean, I think the Blazers' game plan of let's just take the Spurs 13th guy every year
is working
out real good. It's like Blake Wesley before he got here. It was like, hey, wait a second.
Blake. He's another guy who has been out, and I'm very excited to see what happens when he gets back. So just watching them just sort of interact with each other. I'll tell you what, and like I said, we don't know what's going to happen when he gets back, but seeing Scoot on the bench is just, he's like, like in the clubs they have like the fog machine. He's a vibe machine. He's just emanating vibes, just vibes left, vibes right. He's off the bench at every other play. I mean, he's getting more exercise on the bench than most guys get in the game.
Certainly more than me. Yeah,
I'm telling you, he's up and down. He's running and doing the whole thing.
He's just draped and drip. He is learning from Jeremy.
Yeah,
and his pants continue to widen. but not as a like a
Rubenesque hipped gentleman. Myself, I am all for the big pants coming back. We're going back to my time.
But the cut on these is like a bell. It's just a nice, just a silhouette.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Can't wait.
Listen, this is a general check-in pod, and I have to check. I was talking to you the other day. We are so spoiled with our play-by-play crew.
Oh, and best in the league.
We have gushed about Calabro, and he continues to go nuts. You were actually at the game, so you missed the wonderful moment where Calabro was talking about the cream and the crimson, Indiana University. But I have come this season to really appreciate Lamar Hurd. The nuance and the distillation of basketball, just the smallest things do not escape him. And like the other day, the example I sent to you is he was talking about that monstrous alley-oop, which I do not know how Shaden got off. He jumped from 8 feet out, like free throw line territory, and was able to just like keep going up and get this dunk from Caleb Love, who aside is having some kind of something's going on with that. And Hurd goes into this little mini monologue about how the reason that worked is because Shaden took the first step with his right foot and then launched off his left foot, which opened his chest up towards the basket, which gave him more room and time to catch the ball and dunk it. And I was just like, this is the kind of stuff where when you watch other, like even national broadcasts, and it's basically like Blake Griffin giggling, you're like, we are spoiled.
Well, first of all, I think the sort of reconfiguration of all the I guess stakeholders, you know, Amazon and ESPN, national broadcasting is down bad. Because it is basically like guys who charmed producers at like a dinner, and maybe are great one-on-one, but are not so great. You know what I mean? And like I said, I like Blake Griffin. I've always liked Blake Griffin. He had a guest role on, it was some comedy show. Something City, Broad City. He had a 1 or 2 episode guest run.
Let me guess,
hilarious.
Both girls were just super horny for him.
No,
that wasn't.
There's definitely horniness involved because that show was but he seems like a super funny, like much funnier than you might think. You know, otherwise. But again, the national the problem with the national broadcast crews, it's hard to watch all the teams play all the time, so you miss a lot of nuance. Like a lot of these guys come, especially a team like Portland is not on national TV a lot. You come in and you're just kind of like you can tell they don't really know the team as well as the local crew does. Anyway, I say all that to say, there have been multiple occasions. There was a game maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago where they had the Blazers from it was the 99 team or the 2000 team. They did like a big thing for them, and all these guys. They were interviewing them during the game, like Steve Smith and Greg Anthony and guys who have experience doing TV. You know what I mean? And they all, before they left, was like, I just got to say, like, we love listening to you guys. You're the best, best commentating team on NBA TV. And anytime we can see a Blazer game, and like these are guys again who have like a ton of broadcasting experience. Just calling them out and being like, you guys are the best. And I've been hearing that for years. From other people who do the job. Like there's Kareth Burke, who's like the Golden State. Like she's like Brooke Olsendam, but for Golden State. And every time the Blazers are on TV, she's constantly like, tweeting out about how great, Kevin Calabro is. So, I mean, they are great. Like top tier, great, acknowledged by other people who do their same job. Like, no, you guys really do it.
And I hope one day your and my friendship reaches theirs, because they are just the latency between them is incredible.
Oh, it's amazing.
Kevin Calabro has started this thing where he's singing during the broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
And he was the other thing I didn't tell you about is during the broadcast he started singing the Indiana fight song.
Sure he did.
As play is happening, he just started singing the Indiana fight song.
You remember Dame's last season where he had the 70-point game or whatever, and we were like, well, he's finally reached peak Dame.
Here we go.
Calabro has finally reached, after 40 years, has reached basically. I don't need this job.
No,
I'm just doing whatever. I've got my partner here. Is just we're just gonna figure it out, and I'm completely unchecked, completely unbothered. You're getting the full show.
The thing I love about Calabro is you have the impression that if you don't put him away at night the right way, like a horse, like if you don't brush him down,
that's right.
Do the thing, you're gonna have to. He just gets himself so worked up.
The thing is, like in years past, when the Blazers have objectively stunk, he was kind of the saving grace. The only reason you'd watch the games to tune in and see what they're talking about. And we thought, oh man, the worse they get, the better he gets. But actually, no, the better they get, the better he gets too.
That's right.
Fantastic.
More tools mean more ways to paint a picture.
The whole time, get this man some help. The man was Kevin Calabro. He's got all the help he needs. That's why we haven't been on the air.
So speaking of get this man some help, we named this podcast "Get This Man Some Help" because we were desperate for Damian Lamont Lillard to get some help. Right? He left, and we have a new man has entered the ring. Okay, going for title, going to be an all-star this year. That's Deni Avdija.
Yeah,
we had a podcast last season where we're like, have we already found that man, and is it Deni Avdija? Now, I have 2 questions for you. First question is, there's stages to fandom, right? You draft a player, all you can see is the upside. This guy could be this, and this. Then there's the stage where you're realizing, okay, but there's all these different stages, right? And then you get to the point where I think Deni's at, which Damian got in the last few seasons, where it doesn't become an if, it becomes inevitable. So there was a while where Damian was always like, oh, should he be an all-star? I don't know, and then like him and Russell Westbrook would have should it be Russell or Dame or whatever. But then it got to the point where it's like, no, Damian's an all-star every year. That's just a given. But the national media, and you start to see the Allstate commercial. You start to see this stuff where it becomes inevitable. I think Deni's knocking on that door.
Yeah.
And my question for you is, wouldn't it be ironic if our new guy's help next season is our old guy?
It's funny. I was thinking about that because one of the things that I mean, you're hearing his name sort of nationally now. Like you're hearing him getting called out by like LeBron James, and like the national people are finally starting to pay attention.
Yeah.
And one thing I maybe didn't realize until recently is the All-Star game format is like U.S. versus the world.
Yes.
And
very weird.
I mean, Deni, obviously from Israel, is going to be a part of the world side of things.
Yep.
And that projected team, they're dealing with some injuries.
Yeah.
So like the list keeps getting shorter and shorter, which for Deni is better and better because he kind of keeps moving up the list. So I can't remember who was the latest international player to get injured, but they were kind of doing some of the math on one of the broadcasts, and it looks like he's almost a shoo-in. Like he's almost guaranteed to get into the All-Star game. But yeah, he's a bona fide player, man. Like he is a bona fide 25, 7 and 7 night guy. There's only 3 or 4 guys in the league who are putting up those kind of numbers right now. And plus, I think one of the things you've started to see, and this kind of goes back to just kind of the vibes of the team, is the guys on the team he is unquestionably their leader now. Like you look before, like the pregame stuff, like just the little things, like in the tunnel waiting to be introduced. Like he's the one that's doing the talk, and he's the one that's kind of doing the little they put their hands in the middle. He's leading all that, and you got to think like there's how is that going to work when Damian Lillard, who a couple of years ago we were calling the best leader in professional sports, gets back into the mix? Is he going to have the wherewithal to kind of step back and be the help?
Well, that would be the epitome of a good leader, is to recognize your own, just like you said before, the greatest king is the one that doesn't want the crown.
Yeah.
If Damian can recognize this team is something else when I'm in this other role, which he definitely did not seem to do in Milwaukee,
it's hard to do.
We could have a dangerous thing, because the thing is right now, I love City Sissoko. I love Tumani. I love all those guys. They cannot hold a candle to Damian's shooting. So if Deni is getting into the lane and spraying it out to Damian, that's a different level of threat.
Listen, when you're in a situation where you're touching the paint and you got that split second and you got Shaden in one corner, you got Damian Lillard in the other, you got Tumani on the wing who's been shooting pretty well. I mean, even if Clingan pops out, now you got 4 other guys around you who can knock down that shot.
Yeah,
I mean, I just there are scary times ahead, I think. If Dame comes back healthy, and I choose
to be positive. The thing is about Deni that I enjoy, and I loved the Damian Lillard experience, but his game was admittedly based a lot less on power and a lot less on manufacturing those foul shots and stuff. Deni's whole MO is, I'm going to get in there and break some shit, which I feel like is a lot harder to stop in terms of I'm having a hot or cold night. Like we saw that with the second Rockets game where he was having a terrible shooting night, but he was still able to manufacture enough gravity for them to like be able to pull off some stuff. And
I think
would dump it to Donovan, and Donovan would make that secondary play.
Yeah, I mean, that's the secret of James Harden and Shea, Gilgeous-Alexander, and those guys, is just get into the paint and see what you can do. Like, let's see what's going on. What's going on? And I think he's cracking that code.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can. I can hear me too now.
Okay, good. Well, that's not good. Okay, now you can, right?
No.
Sorry. All right, here we go. You there?
Yeah.
Now you got me, right? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. My computer was running out of battery, and I had to do some cable switching. I apologize to all you at home. Okay. So speaking of Donovan, you at the end of last season, you had said this sentence that at the time I was like, "Come on," and that was, "We found our center of the future. We've got our power forward of the future in Deni and Donovan." And I didn't really believe you, but it has started to prove out. And I don't know what happened, but Donovan looks so much less stiff, so much more fluid, is shooting the three. You don't feel weird about him in the short roll. Like when he got that pass, like it took him a little bit to kind of come up to speed with it, but obviously the coaches did coaching at halftime of that second Rockets game. And Donovan came out with a lot of, a much better picture of like how fast to get rid of the ball, where to go with it. What are you loving about Donovan?
Well, I want to be very clear. I was beside myself when they drafted him. I just
Mm-hmm.
could not for the life of me figure out what the hell they were thinking, because I did not think he was going to be. I just thought he was going to be too big and too slow, especially in today's NBA, where you've got to be able to guard on the perimeter if you're a big guy and blah blah blah. And I was wrong.
Yeah.
And I can admit that I was wrong, because by the end of last season, it's like, oh no, he's actually, I think, as good, maybe even a little better than they maybe thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he clearly spent the time working to improve the things, his sort of stamina.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's lost a lot of baby fat, you know what I mean? Which is, again, that's just the thing that happens.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you're that big.
He's like 21 years old. Yeah.
He's still a kid. But you can tell that he is working his behind off to become kind of what they need him to be. Like, you can tell he's spending time conditioning, he's spending time practicing. He's, kind of learning from his mistakes. Like, oh, just because I have that shot, maybe I shouldn't take that shot. Like, on a lot of the defensive rotation stuff. And again, being in the locker room with having a head coach who was an NBA center, on a championship team, he's clearly learning stuff from him. But also being around guys like Toumani Camara and Damian Lillard, you can tell he's soaking up the wisdom. I think we made the crack at the beginning of last season. Like, he's like your little sister's boyfriend, who shows up to the party and he just wants to fit in. So he's just kind of listening in on every conversation. You know what I mean? Yeah. And no, he's a real NBA center. Again, it was 22.
Yeah, he's 21, 22.
Like, his shot is developing. Maybe he's at that stage, that wonderful stage of kind of like people who drop 50 pounds and feel like they're an Olympic athlete. You know what I mean? Like, it's that sort of almost overconfidence of like, I can hit NBA threes. Watch this. Watch this step back.
Yeah.
So you got to tamp that down just a little.
Just a hair.
Yeah. But, I mean, and he's playing like he's I think averaging like 29 minutes a game, and you can expect, like, if he keeps his conditioning up, continue that'll continue to increase. And I mean, he's he's a real NBA center. I think lead the league in offensive rebounding.
Yeah. And I think when I first saw him, I almost didn't understand the kind of player he was, because you were so conditioned watching NBA basketball to expect monster athleticism across the positions. Yeah. And he doesn't have that kind of athleticism where he's going to be dunking on people in the lane. No. He doesn't have a great finishing rate in terms of, his putbacks and stuff like that. But he is getting his hands on so many balls. And I think we're coming to a place with our understanding of athleticism where it's not always how high you can jump. There's different kinds of athleticism, like we see with Doncic, or you were talking about this today, where there's different ways to measure this. And he probably has some kind of different kind of measurables in terms of his reaction or anticipation that is letting him get in the mix with all these different plays. And I feel safer when he's there in the lane. Like, I feel he affects shots. People aren't going into the lane as much, and he's just been a joy to watch. And the thing I really like about him is that he believes that he belongs there. And I think a lot of times with these big centers, they can kind of get a little bit of the deer in the headlight thing, because they went from playing in high school and college where you could get by with being the biggest dude on the floor.
You're not
the biggest dude on the floor anymore.
Transition than being a college big man. Yeah. And because a college big man eats. Yeah. Like, you can just there's just so many big guys in college that were unstoppable against the NBA. And it's like, Yeah. No, the confidence is high. And I think that he gets encouragement,
Yeah. And the Deni Donovan connection is good. Just like we see that Caleb Love and Sharp connection too.
Yeah, the Caleb Shaden Sharp I mean, those guys are locked in. But I mean, it's almost, I kind of wonder why, because playing the Knicks, and they've got Mitchell Robinson, who's a pretty imposing guy in the middle. But I kind of wonder why they didn't try to go more to like just a basic pick and roll. I know his finishing rate has not been great, and maybe that's something that they're kind of working on with him to get him there. But there are a number of matchups across the league right now where just a basic pick and roll with Deni or Caleb Love or any of the quicker guards. I mean,
I think the Knicks are an especially gruesome defensive assignment, just because the length they have at cross position is pretty imposing. I mean, they have Brunson, but that's really the only weak link, like quote unquote weak link, and we even saw him stand Deni up down the stretch.
One of the things the Knicks do really well is they bring like Mikal Bridges just kind of a nightmare because he can get from the corner to help on the post in a blink of an eye. And he's a terror. And he has to be because they got Cat that they have to work around.
I love it. You get these little peccadillos where it's like I would love a team that featured like Cat, Rudy Gobert.
Well, I mean, they had one.
Well, that's true.
What happened? They had to get rid of Cat.
That's true.
Bring us Julius Randle, please.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
God, that's so true. Okay. Yeah. And we touched a little bit. Caleb Love has been so fun to watch, and he, in the beginning of the season, you and I were like, God, he just shoots. Like, he just shoots.
Never.
And we're like, I wish Shaden would have a little bit of this Caleb Love energy. And now you're starting to see him do some good passes. You're starting to see him get and I gotta believe, like with the progression we're seeing from Clingan, the in-season progression we're seeing from Love, the huge leaps that Murray was taking before he got injured.
Yeah,
you got to start to think this Blazers development team is starting to really fire on all cylinders, because even last year before Scoot, at the end of Scoot was starting to shoot well.
Yeah, he was.
So
another guy. It was clear that he was working. It was clear that they had him in there in the lab and they were working him and trying to get him better. And it was the results were starting to show. And it bothers me when I see all these stats like, he had that highest turnover ratio and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the first half of the season for sure. But if you break it into half and look at the second half of the season, he was playing really well that second half of the season.
Which brings me to our first ever mailbag question. This comes in from a listener, Brian A.
Oh,
yeah.
Hello, Brian A.
Yeah. He wants to know,
okay,
do you ever see Young Hunson having a role in this league? To me, he looks so stiff.
Yeah.
That's the question.
Okay. It's a fair question. Yeah. Okay. He is very stiff.
Yeah.
He does look like, you sometimes wonder, like, do his knees actually articulate? And he kind of runs like a 9-year-old who's playing soccer for the first time. Like he's not the most athletic guy in the world. He didn't play in the Knicks game at all. But we were kind of watching him warm up a little bit, and like he's going to take some work. And when they talk about like being a project, like when you watch the draft and say, this guy's a project, that's kind of what they're talking about. Because again, playing in China, is kind of like playing in the NCAA. Like he's tearing guys up in China because he's massive. He's huge. Get to the NBA, that's not impressing anybody.
Right.
The thing about it though is when you watch the sort of short doses that you get to watch him play, his basketball IQ is through the roof.
Yeah.
Like he sees everything that's happening around him. He can anticipate cuts. He can anticipate on defense. Is he ever going to be quick enough to be able to like, get ahead of like physically, like my brain sees what's happening. Can my body get there quick enough? That's kind of, you just don't know. But I will say, we were just talking about this. You look at the jump that Clingan made.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's clear that Portland's got a developmental staff.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. They clearly know what they're doing. If they can get him, maybe get him in a little bit better shape, get off some of that, burn off some of that baby fat.
Yeah.
Get him acclimated. If he can start playing like 20 minutes a game, I would actually like to see. I kind of wish, and they can't do it with all the injuries, but I kind of wish that they would just send him to the remix,
right,
for maybe a month or two. Just let him play, get him some reps. Help him get his body right. But yeah, I mean, he looks really bad because he's a 21-year-old. Again, 20, maybe 20. Yeah. He's
20. He's 20 years old.
A wee top of a boy.
He just turned 20. Yeah,
turned 20.
Yeah.
He just turned 20. I think sometimes we should flip this on our head. A kid who has just turned 20 is logging in NBA minutes and only kind of embarrassing himself. That's kind of an accomplishment. You know what I mean? Like sure. He's making good choices a lot of the time. He's made some real bad ones. And he's figuring it out.
Yeah.
He's going to be fine. Is his ceiling is it going to be Jokic? No, probably not. But who's going to be Jokic?
Listen, I still have faith.
Well, I mean, but he'll be a good player if he can physically get in better shape. And if they can figure out how to use him. And that's a tough thing with a guy like that. He's not going to ever be a typical post player. You know what I mean? He's not going to play like Rob Williams. He's not going to play like Donovan Clingan.
Yeah.
But if they can sort of figure out, okay, when he's in the game, let's stick him in the high post and they almost play him like a 4.
Yeah.
Like a point forward.
Yeah.
I think there's a place for him in the NBA. I'm not worried about that kid at all just yet.
I'm with you.
20. He just turned 20.
Same points about the development.
The pants I'm wearing right now might be older than 20.
Well, Shann, you need to get new pants.
Well, I mean,
but also I'm proud of you because that means you haven't gained a lot of weight.
That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with you, and I have faith in developmental. And also, I mean, you saw in Summer League. You saw in Summer League when he was a little bit more of a focal point and given more leash that what he could do. Yeah. And I think that's going to happen. And that's another thing about this new coaching thing is I'm not sure if Chauncey would have given him the same amount of run. And Tiago's making sure that he goes in there in relatively high leverage situations. I know there's injury stuff there too, but he doesn't have to do it. He can go to Delop if he wants to. But he's folding in young and
well, and if you listen to what Tiago says, and this is again stuff that you really didn't hear a lot from, Chauncey. Not to
he who should not be named.
Yeah, he should not be named. Sure. But it's kind of like, like he's still new. Like I'm not just going to throw him in there and let him get killed and then ruin his confidence. Like we have to kind of take it slow with him and just be patient, because he's 20 years old, man.
I wish people would do that in my Monday basketball.
Well,
no, okay, yeah. All right. Well, I think we touched on it all. We're back. I'm going to drag Shann into this every Friday or Monday. Today's Monday. I'm going to drag you in every Monday.
Yes, we've had some scheduling issues, as it turns out. Don't know the cause, but we're figuring it out, folks.
You don't have a choice, Shann. I'm sorry.
All right, well, that's fine.
All right, thanks as always, Puma Distortion.
Cue up the music.
Get this man some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
A Blazers podcast.